This video is sponsored by Level 8, luggage for travelling efficiently. Today I've got a super special video for you. I'm taking on the ICE 24 challenge. I'll be trying to visit Germany's 10 largest cities in 24 hours. This will involve travelling non-stop, covering over 2,000 kilometres while eating and sleeping on board. There will also be some special guests joining me along the way. This challenge is definitely plausible, but is it actually possible? Come with me and find out. The Bavarian capital is the start and end point for this challenge, but I won't actually count it until I finish at some point tomorrow. One thing I did try to do is include as many of the different types of ICE sets along the way, and not to give too much away, but I nearly got the full set. Here's a look at the route I'll be taking. It's basically a huge loop of the country in an anti-clockwise direction. The cities I'll be visiting are Germany's 10 largest by population. First up is Leipzig, then on to Berlin, Hamburg, Essen, Dortmund, Dusseldorf, Cologne, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, and finally back here to Munich, hopefully before this time tomorrow. The only rules are that I must visit each city. This means changing trains at each stop. If time and/or energy permits, I will also do some sightseeing, and finally the time limit is 24 hours from when my first train departs Munich. Those of you au fait with Deutsche Bahn and German railways in general may think I'm crazy and deluded to even think about this with regular delays and cancellations on the network, but I have faith for now. I have made a provisional plan which involves connection times of mostly between 30 and 60 minutes, as I'd really love to see some of the cities along the way. If all goes to this plan, there should be 10 legs with 10 different ICE trains. Let's head to catch our first train now. I'll give you some more information once we get going. Our first train is the ICE 506 service, formed of this ICE 4 set. Although this route goes all the way to Hamburg, as mentioned I will be stopping at each city along the way, getting off and changing trains. This video is sponsored by Level 8, Luggage of the Year for 2024. Ever since I got my first Level 8 case over 2 years ago, I wouldn't travel without one. Currently I'm using the stylish 20-inch Gibraltar carry-on, which is made from aerospace grade magnesium alloy. It features ultra-quiet 360-degree durable spinner wheels for effortless movement and heavy-duty dual TSA approved locks. There is also a lifetime warranty for absolute peace of mind on endless adventures. Level 8 are offering my viewers a special discount of 10% off every order. Just click the link in the description below and use code NONSTOP10 today. Okay, let's board the first of 10 planned trains over the next 24 hours. Am I mad? Probably. My friends were certainly all telling me this in the week leading up to today. The ICE 4s are much hated in Germany and are seen to be a big downgrade on the older ICE 1s and 3s. However, I quite like them and they're certainly not bad trains. Leg 1 is from Munich to Leipzig on board ICE 506. Scheduled departure is 12:56 and we pull out right on time. And the clock is now ticking, 24 hours to go. This leg is the second longest one at 478 kilometres and is scheduled to take 3 hours and 14 minutes of travel time this afternoon.
Hello dear passengers, welcome on board the ICE to Hamburg, Altona, Nuremberg, Erfurt, Leipzig and Berlin. We wish you a pleasant journey.
I have allowed myself the luxury of travelling in first class for this challenge, a decision which definitely paid off when we get to the overnight trains, as you'll see later on. We are now whizzing along the Munich-Nuremberg high-speed line. This is one of a limited few sections in Germany that are 300 km/h capable, even though the maximum speed of this ICE 4 set is just 265 km/h. And then we arrive to Nuremberg, which is 14th on the list of Germany's largest cities, with 510,000 residents. No stop required here for this challenge though. Just a small reminder here that trains are much faster than cars. I have also set a 24-hour timer on my phone and will refer back to it at various points when I actually remember to. We are fast on the approach to Leipzig, Germany's 8th largest city and the first of today's planned stops, where special guest number 1 will be joining me for a walk around his hometown and for leg 2 of the challenge.
Ladies and gentlemen, a few minutes arrive Leipzig main station on platform 11. All connecting trains will reach. Thank you for choosing Deutsche Bahn. Take care. Bye-bye.
It was great to meet Tom for the first time, and I'd highly recommend for you to check out his channel where he mixes amazing travelling experiences with sightseeing from America, Europe and some lesser known places. Don't forget to subscribe. So far, touch wood, everything is going to plan, and we have just over an hour before the second train of the challenge. Now, I've been to Leipzig before a few times, but it's so nice to have a walk around with someone who lives here and just to see some of the sights, and of course this being Germany, we had to sit down in the main square with a pint of local beer. Before too long, we're heading back to the station to catch the next train to the German capital, Berlin, and Tom is coming along for the ride. This service is again formed of an ICE 4 set. I promise there will be some variation of train models soon. Okay, let's board train number 2. As we're both pretty hungry and it's nearly dinner time, we're making a beeline for the dining car for some of Deutsche Bahn's famous fare. Leg 2 is from Leipzig to Berlin on board ICE 370. Scheduled departure is 17:16 and we depart just 3 minutes late. This leg is 177 kilometers in distance and is scheduled to take 1 hour and 16 minutes of travel time. With a little over 19 hours left to go and a long night ahead of me, let's make our orders and enjoy the passing Saxony countryside with a pint of draft beer on a train. Cheers everyone! We both went for my favourite dish, the vegan currywurst. Tom had his with bread and I had chips. Delicious. Still running pretty much to time, we crawl into the Berlin suburbs, calling first at Stuttgart, where Tom will jump off and head back to Leipzig as he actually has a proper job to go to tomorrow. Great to meet you, mate. Until next time. A few minutes later, we pull into Berlin's labyrinthian main station on the underground platforms 5 minutes late. We've now ticked off 2 of Germany's 10 largest cities, and again I've got around 1 hour before leg 3's train departs to Hamburg, so let's go and explore Berlin a bit. I decided to grab one of the many electric scooters from right outside the station's main entrance. I find these such a great value and easy way to explore a new city. If you want ad-free early access to every video, great perks and to help me do bigger and better reviews, then become a channel member from just £1.99 per month. Just click the link above now or the join button in every video. Thank you! Anyway, around 5 minutes later we arrive at the Reichstag building, which is where the elected members of the German Bundestag or Federal Parliament meet. I then pop across the road to the Brandenburg Gate. This stunning 18th century neoclassical monument marks the start of the historic road from Berlin to Brandenburg. Back on the scooter and let's head back to Berlin Hauptbahnhof. This central station opened in 2006 when it became the German capital's new mega transport hub. It always amazes me with its mix of impressive architecture, great functionality and ease of navigation despite its size and multiple levels. Before we head back down to the underground platforms for the next train, I'm in need of a pick-me-up as I'm starting to lag already. That doesn't bode too well for the night. Our next train is showing as 3 minutes late currently, which is not a problem. And it's a third ICE 4 set for this leg, but don't worry, this is the penultimate one of the whole challenge. I'm soon aboard and thankful to see that it's once again mercifully empty. I've really been lucky so far, haven't I? Leg 3 is from Berlin to Hamburg on board ICE 504. The scheduled departure time is 19:38 and we depart 3 minutes late again. This leg is 286 kilometres in distance and is scheduled to take 1 hour and 47 minutes of travel time as we exit central Berlin to a beautiful sunset. We now have just under 17 hours to go, and with everything going to plan so far, I can sit back with my pineapple energy drink and enjoy the train window views on the evening ride across northern Germany. We are soon approaching Hamburg and running just 1 minute late now. I must say that I find the onboard screens and displays on ICE trains, and indeed German trains in general, are the best in the world. The live information is usually accurate and up to date, and includes connecting train times and platform numbers. The rest of the world could learn from Germany in this respect. We pull into Hamburg's main station, which is Germany's busiest, still with just a 1 minute delay. I now have around an hour and 20 minutes before my next train, which is the first of the night ICE trains, for which this challenge would not have been possible without. That means there's definitely time to have a walk around, do some sightseeing and grab a bite to eat before we head back here to start the journey south. If you exit the station on the west side, you'll be within a short walk of many of the city's main attractions, even though most will be closed at this time of night. Right next to the station is the Hamburger Kunsthalle. I hope I said that right. This amazing museum showcases 7 centuries of art from Germany, Europe and all around the world. A bit further on you'll find the Binnenalster or Inner Lake, which refers to when this reservoir was fully enclosed by Hamburg's city walls from the 1600s. Then a bit further on is the stunning Hamburger Rathaus or Hamburg Town Hall. Okay, let's head back to the station and grab a snack and get ready for the longest train of this challenge. Even after 10 PM, Hamburg Hauptbahnhof is still a relative hive of activity, with lots of shops still open and many people milling about. I love the view from this balcony overlooking the main hall with its magnificent metal and glass canopy which spans the central tracks. It's great to see so many regional and long distance trains still on the departure board at this time of night. France, take heed. Our next train is formed of this ICE 1 set, the original and arguably still one of the best German high-speed trains running today. One of the main night ICE corridors is between Hamburg and Frankfurt. Ironically, on this service's route down to the German financial capital, I'd be able to tick off the next 5 of Germany's top 10 largest cities all in one fell swoop, but that would be somewhat cheating. So let's get on board the longest leg of the challenge and make our way down to the North Rhine-Westphalia region. Not only do these trains have normal, open plan seating, they also have 6-seat compartments which are beautifully dark for this overnight trip. Leg 4 is from Hamburg down to Essen on board the ICE 921 service. We depart right on time at 10:46 PM for this 354km trip, which is scheduled to take 3 hours and 21 minutes, arriving at 2:07 AM. I ummed and ahed a bit about which order I should do these next 4 stops in, if I should head straight to Cologne and work my way back up in order to get a bit more sleep, as they're all fairly close together. In the end I decided to skip Dortmund, head straight to Essen and then double back 1 stop because of a well-timed northbound train with an equally good southbound connection shortly after. That was the plan anyway, and I was soon to experience some of the famed Deutsche Bahn reliability issues. For now though, I've got this compartment to myself, so I've set an alarm and it's time for some kip. 5 minutes before scheduled arrival at Essen, let's have a walk through the train. First class is pretty quiet with lots of free spaces, so I definitely recommend this if using one of these night ICE services. Second class was much busier with most seats taken and people everywhere. Anyway, we arrive in Essen just 2 minutes late at 2:09 AM.
Today, from platform 2, directly opposite.
Not going to lie, I'm really tired now, but still, let's head off for a walk nearby the station to see what we can find in the hour or so before the next train. This is the area to the south of the main station, which includes the Opera House and State Garden. I'll insert a few photos here as the low light picture quality on my phone is much better than that of my GoPro. Hopefully I can find somewhere to grab a coffee on the way back. This will do. Good old Mackey's in the station was the only 24-hour place I could find at 2:30 AM. Again, look at this selection of trains that are running overnight. This is the RE1 RRX or Rhine-Ruhr Express service that is also heading to Dortmund, our next stopping point. And 10 minutes later our train arrives. It's another ICE1 set, in fact it's the opposite working of the southbound service we got off an hour ago. I'm only on this for a short hop back up the line, so I'll just grab this airline style seat in the open cabin with the bright lights or I'm liable to fall asleep and wake up back in Hamburg. Leg 5 is from Essen back to Dortmund on board the ICE 920 service. We depart 2 minutes late at 3:07 AM for this quick 34km hop, which is scheduled to take just 22 minutes. And before I know it, we arrive right on time. Now that's half of the 10 cities visited and only around 9 of the 24 hours remaining. This might seem ominous, but the next 3 are very close together and I'm still running exactly to plan, amazingly. Let's hope we can keep this up when we travel to the remaining 5 cities this morning, as I really don't fancy a replan when I'm this tired. Dortmund is home to the German National Football Museum, which is conveniently very close to the station. Inconveniently, however, it was closed at 3:30 AM. I'll have to come back at a more reasonable hour next time. Okay, let's head back inside and get ready for leg 6 of the challenge. This will be operated by this original ICE 3 set, one of my favourites. This compartment looks very welcoming, so let's settle in for this trip. Leg 6 is from Dortmund to Dusseldorf. Scheduled departure is 4:04 AM and we leave right on time. It's a 69-kilometre journey which was scheduled to take just 52 minutes. I wasn't planning to sleep, but accidents happen, eh? I did set my alarm for just before the planned arrival time and wake up to see we're 18 minutes late currently due to overrunning engineering work. In the following 25 minutes we pick up another 10 minutes of delay. We should have arrived at 4:56 AM, giving me a comfortable 31-minute connection, but now I have just 3 minutes. It's a good job I packed my running shoes and only have a small bag. Let's go! Well, luckily for me, this train was following us southbound, so also picked up a small delay, although nothing to the degree we did. Anyway, I'm on the platform as it pulls in 2 minutes late. This ICET is the slowest of the ICE series, with a top speed of just 230 km per hour. It is used on the more twisty routes, such as this one to Vienna, as it can maintain higher cornering speeds due to its ability to actively tilt into the curves. First class is in a mix of open plan seating and semi-compartments. One of these will be perfect for me this morning. Unfortunately, the board bistro isn't open yet, as I could really do with a coffee. Leg 7 is from Dusseldorf to Cologne on board the ICE 23 service. It's a good job it wasn't ICE 24 or I'd get confused with my hashtag. The scheduled departure was 5:27 and we leave 4 minutes late. I only had a 10-minute connection in Cologne, the shortest of the whole trip. Come on DB, don't let me down on the home straight. It's just 40 kilometres from Dusseldorf to Cologne and scheduled to take 23 minutes of travel time. I'm anxiously keeping an eye on Google Maps as we seemingly crawl into the Cologne suburbs. We pass through Messe-Deutz station and now just have to cross the River Rhine before we arrive at Cologne's main station, where my next train departs from. I have 4 minutes to make my connection. Good job that I didn't take my running shoes off after the last one. And again, I make it by the skin of my teeth. I step on board this ICE3M set just 3 minutes before departure. Leg 8 is from Cologne to Frankfurt, where special guest number 2 will be joining me. We're on board the ICE 811 service, which is scheduled to depart at 6 AM, and we leave exactly on time. This leg is 180 kilometres in distance, with a scheduled journey time of 1 hour and 23 minutes, and there is now under 7 hours remaining on the challenge clock, with 3 more cities to visit and nearly 600 kilometres left to travel. This is going to be a close finish. I do hope DB don't snatch defeat from the jaws of victory this late on. At least we're thrashing along at close to the maximum line speed of 300 kilometres per hour. These ICE3s actually have a maximum speed of 330 km per hour, but no line in Europe currently supports this. Also, one of the best features is the viewing gallery compartment just behind the driver. Usually they frost out the glass for some privacy, but our driver today obviously likes to be watched, and I'm so thankful because what a view! If the front window is opaque, you can always go to the rear of the train for nearly as good a view out the back. On the way into Frankfurt, we call at the airport, which is Europe's 6th busiest and Germany's busiest with over 60 million passengers annually. It is also Lufthansa's home base. We then cross the River Main, from where the city gets its full name, Frankfurt am Main, and pull into the main station exactly on time at 7:23 am. Eight legs down and 27 minutes until my penultimate train of the challenge. I've now been joined by my good friend Mark from the Let's Make a Trip YouTube channel. If you like buses, ferries and very dry humour, you'll be sure to like his channel. Check it out at the link above now. Our train for this leg is an ICE 4 set. Welcome back to the challenge, old friend. We're heading straight to the dining car as it's definitely breakfast time. Leg 9 is from Frankfurt to Stuttgart on board the ICE 591 service, scheduled to leave at 7:50 am. After a short delay, we depart 5 minutes behind schedule. The distance to cover is 178 kilometers and the travel time is 1 hour and 18 minutes. Okay, let's grab the menu and order breakfast. I can very much see the finish line on the horizon now, so let's push through to the end. I went for the cheese omelette and a bread roll, and a large latte. These were both very much required after a long night with only patchy sleep. I didn't film much on this journey as I was having a good catch up with Mark, and before I knew it we're arriving at Stuttgart main station 1 minute early at 9:07 with 20 minutes before the last planned train of the trip. Leg 9 complete, and we are now in Germany's 6th largest city. That's 9 of 10 visited, and now all that remains is to head back to Munich, the 10th city, and see if we complete the challenge within the 24 hours. Stuttgart Hauptbahnhof has had major renovation and building works in progress ever since I first came here around 6 years ago. Is the end in sight? I have no idea. My last train of the challenge pulls into platform 16 right on time, formed of one of the brand new ICE 3 Neo sets, the best of the whole DB fleet in my opinion. I've recently done a full review of this train, so click the link above if you want to watch that next. Thanks for the company, Mark, it was great to catch up. The final leg is from Stuttgart back to our starting point, Munich, on board the ICE 913 service. The scheduled departure was 9:28 am, and we leave 2 minutes behind schedule. The distance to cover is 235 kilometers and the travel time is 1 hour and 58 minutes. I'm hesitant to say mission accomplished just yet, as any regular German train passenger would tell you. I'd very much appreciate it though if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more of the same, that you would like the video and leave a comment and share this with a few friends who you think might also like it. Doing this is a free way to help the channel by making the video get recommended to more people. Thank you! If you've been keeping track, I travelled on every ICE set except the ICE 2. I've actually still never ever been on one to this day. The final train count was 4 ICE 4s, 3 ICE 3s including 1 original, 1 M and 1 Neo version, 2 ICE 1s and 1 ICE T. Not bad going. However, everything went well on the final leg, and we see the familiar sights of Munich's impressive signal box as we're on the approach to the main station, albeit 11 minutes late. So, to answer my question from the start of the video, Can you visit Germany's 10 largest cities in 24 hours by ICE Highspeed Train? Well, yes you can, in 22 hours and 42 minutes in fact, if everything goes to plan and you make all your connections. Challenge complete. We come to a stop with 1 hour, 18 minutes and 53 seconds left on the 24-hour timer. If I'd have missed one of those I had to run for this morning, then I probably would have failed. Did you enjoy this ICE 24 challenge? Would you like to see more videos like this? Leave me a comment below, especially if you have any more challenges you'd like me to take on. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching to the end, and I'll see you next week.